I am here today because I want to fulfill a promise to a friend of mine to review her book, Walking with Wodan, from Freya Atwin. I will leave all the links in the comments and in the description for those who want to purchase the book. It is basically a retelling of her experience with the old man, Odin. Wodan is the Dutch name, the Dutch pronunciation of Wotan, which is the Germanic way of saying Odin. Wodanas in Proto-Germanic. Now, it is not just an autobiography, that I have to say. I mean, it is an autobiography, but not just. And this is the book without the cover. I have the hardcover, which, I mean, wasn't cheap, but I absolutely wanted the hardcover because look at it. It's beautiful. And it's fitting also, and it fits here in the shack, I must say. It just belongs here. It's also a grimoire, for lack of a better word. There is very practical knowledge in there for, well, about runes. And not just about runes, but there are some guided meditations in there as well. Well, the path to Wotan. For those of you who don't know, we did this meditation on one of the Zoom meetings. And without saying what people experienced, I have to say that I was rather impressed by what some people said they experienced during that meditation. There is another Zoom meeting coming up soon. I will post about that on my social media, including here, with the way to pay for it and what it will be about. Anyway, the first few chapters are tough to get through, not because of the writing style or not because it is you have to sludge through it. No, it reads very smooth, very smooth. There's no fluff, there is no flowering language, let's say. There's no filler, but the first few chapters were pretty tough to read, and after reading that, I made a promise to myself to never quite bitch about my own upbringing ever again. Or at least not in ways that I have done in the past. Because what I experienced perhaps was not a pleasant childhood, but you can read it yourself. It's my experience just dwarfs in comparison, let's say. And I really didn't have an easy childhood. So I feel like I should just suck it up after that. But that's neither here nor there. It does, I mean, the childhood chapters aside, it does get lighter after that. Or at least it gets less brutal. Because then she goes through her experiences and how she got involved with occult practices and groups, which is all very, very interesting, I have to say. I'm very pleased to see that how she felt when she first got to know runes mirrors my own very, very much. And she gives it a name in this book, the Bloodlight, which is a more prosaic name for genetic memory, epigenetic memory. Which it makes sense also that my experience would reflect hers because we come from the same area. I'm half Dutch, by the way. I grew up in Belgium, but I am half Dutch. And so we share a genetic link there, the haplogroup. Not directly, of course, but we do. And so it makes sense. Now, if people from other parts of Europe have a certain experience with runes, which is not reflected like this, but it does reflect the experience of the people around them in that area, well, that would also make perfect sense then, right? Because not all practices were the same, exact same everywhere. We had rituals and customs and traditions that were specific to tribes or specific to certain areas. Um, Nevertheless, there's quite a bit of hands on practical knowledge that you can incorporate, no matter what type of European you are. Um, it is definitely more than just an autobiography. A grimoire, for lack of a better word. I don't actually have a better word for it. Grimoire is it gives the idea of people working next to oil lamps, trying to create a philosopher's stone. Anyway, that's not really the feeling I got with this book. I'm going on a tangent. There are, I mean, yeah, aside from very practical things, it's also a collection of certain interviews that she has given, which, I mean, were, well, interviews where she gets asked questions and then answers them truthfully in a very direct way, which is, Thea, if you're watching this, is a very Dutch thing. The Dutch directness. That's not a bad thing at all, though. I prefer it this way because it's always better to, in my experience, in my opinion, it's always better. I deal with bluntness better than I do with talking from both ends of your mouth. I don't do well with diplomacy in general, which some of you, most of you, probably already know or had guessed that about me. But yeah, very, very impressive. I mean, a seriously remarkable person, I have to say. I mean, this is the type of life that, I mean, is rare to read about. It's, and you can, I mean, we all have help in life, of course, but to endure through some of the things that she has described that she endured in her book would drive a lot of people insane. And you couldn't even blame them. I couldn't even blame them. It would probably have driven me insane to permanently, temporarily, I don't know. But you can read so for yourself what I mean with that. Let's see if I forgot anything. Mhm. Well, no, I think I more or less went through it all here. Oh, there's some spell work in there. Oh, something very interesting, which is I have heard this phrase before. The path working to the beloved, and the beloved is identification with deity, a deity, um, which I found very, very interesting, I have to say. But it does come with warnings, though, which you can also read about. All can read about it all in here. Ah, yes. Also a meditation about hell, Hela, Helheim. Also a meditation that we did online. Um, what what would be the best thing to do these meditations is to record yourself reading the meditation out loud in the tempo, in the speed that you find enjoyable, and then do the meditation like that. I couldn't do the meditations myself because I was hosting the Zoom meetings. By the way, there will be more of these in the future very soon. I will post everything about it on my own social media with how to pay for it and well, the date, the time, how the Zoom links are going to be sent out. They've been quite a success so far. And please don't contact me personally about being added to meetings. I always have to say it because I have no say over that at all. I'm just the secretary. Assistant. But yeah, I mean, it's a really good book to read if you want to know more about Freya herself, how she got to where she was, how she got to know the old man himself. Very interesting. And how she was initially, well, discouraged from trying to contact the old man. And good thing she didn't listen, because look who she became. What she became. I mean that in the most respectful of ways. Of course, Freya, if you watch this, nothing derogatory here. Nothing at all. Because she is an impressive woman. She's a remarkable woman. And this book doesn't even need to fluff that up or to embellish that in any way. It's just stone cold facts and directness. And it just speaks for itself. Absolutely recommend reading this book. And not just for the autobiography. There's, like I said, practical knowledge in here as well. There. By this, I have fulfilled my promise. And I will leave all the links towards this book in the what do you call it? The comment section and the description. There is also a Kindle edition, by the way. But who wouldn't want this piece of work, piece of artwork? Anyway, thank you for listening. And may walk with the gods.